So, straight out dental school, I was around 21 years old, and I decided to go to New York City to do a residency. I'm from California, by the way, so that's like really, really far from where I live, and I had never lived away from home, and my parents were like a little mad about that. After 1 year of residency, I decided I loved New York, and I decided to stay there and find a job. So, I started saving up in residency, like all my money, so that I could survive several months before my license would come out and I could get a job in New York. What I found in New York City was that there were a lot of jobs, but they're all kind of mediocre jobs if you don't have any connections or if you're just like not from the area. So I was on Craigslist almost every day, even before I got my license, and I was applying to different jobs. And I would go to every interview. I went to an interview 2 hours away. I would go to that job and it was the most grueling hours because I would go in a subway there for 2 hours and a subway back, and it'd be so pitch dark by the time I got home. And sometimes I would have sat there and there weren't enough patients and I would make $0 for the day. The practice itself was mostly bread and butter, but it was like they took really low insurance reimbursements, and you had to really do volume, but the problem was that there wasn't a lot of volume. And so I guess what they needed was exactly me, like someone who was desperate enough to sit there and get their first job experience and just like be really happy just to be there. Obviously, this job wasn't sustainable, and I actually did really like the people there. I thought they were really cool, but I just couldn't make that commute out anymore for no money. So I was looking constantly for other jobs and I got a whole bunch. And my schedule was sort of like I would go to a different dental office every other day. And that way I would have like 2 to 3 jobs at once. And if I ever got fired from one, which I didn't, if anything ever did happen to me, I would still be able to pay my rent because I had my other jobs to fall back on. I think having a broken up schedule like this was actually really beneficial because as I left one job or outgrew one job, I could replace those days with a better job and slowly climb up the ladder of better paying jobs. Not even just better paying, but jobs that better fit what I was wanting to do. Then, if I was at a place for long enough and they saw value in me, then the owner would try to get those other days that I was working elsewhere, and I would be able to have some negotiating power to make sure that I was paid adequately if I were to leave those other jobs. In the beginning, you just have to stay really nimble. I call it being a monkey. Like, you don't let go of the last branch until you get another branch. Like, you don't let go of that last job until you get another job. And the reality is that your first job is likely not going to be your forever job. It takes some time to find what fits with you and a place where you are happy to go to work. And the more that you learn about the way that different businesses are run, the more your